everyone. Sorry for this slight delay. For those who don't know, I am Roland Taylor, aka Roland Vitsar. You can find me on my website, rolandvitsar.pro. That should be in the description. It's been a while since you've seen me on here on YouTube streaming or doing any kind of videos or anything like that, but I'm back. So today we are going to be doing the Inkscape challenge, and as you can see, I've already got Inkscape open. And I actually got a suggestion for this one because it is the challenge is for us to do our favorite animal, but all animals are my favorite. So basically, I had to put out a request for favorite animals, and I was given a suggestion, and I'm actually going to tackle 2 animals if possible. So I'll do a bumblebee, and if I have time, I will also be doing a panda in the background. So just give me 1 second. Let me grab my my drawing tablet and my stylus, and we will get started. Okay, so I have everything we need to go. We are ready to jump right in. So for this scene, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a bumblebee nest. So for those who don't know, bumblebees love to nest in the ground. And I'm also going to have some bumblebees coming out of it, a main one, and of course some sisters. Is there a society of all girls, no boys allowed except for when it's time to reproduce? So there will be 1 bumblebee and some of her sisters, and possibly in the background, if I have time, I'll do a panda showing down some bamboo. Alright, so I'm gonna just set this up with some very basic ground level stuff here. And don't worry about the color of these circles, doesn't really matter. That's gonna be changed eventually. Right, let me rotate this. Drop it over here. By the way, if you haven't been here a while, hi. If you've been here before, hi again, because I do have some faithful followers who have been looking out for me to come back for a while. Being very busy, doing some great things. I'm not sure if any of you out there, other than those who I know for certain were there, but if any of you who may be watching this now or later would have seen the Creative Freedom Summit, make sure to check that out on the Fedora Design YouTube channel. And basically, you should be able to also watch it on PeerTube as well. Some of the videos have been uploaded already, but not edited. We're working on that second step to edit the videos and get them out there. So that will be done hopefully in the very near future. But I had a great time actually participating and contributing. I was able to give 2 talks this year, and it was a wonderful experience. Okay, this, I think I've opened a different version of Inkscape than I normally use, unless there was an update and something has changed, but my palette is looking a little bit different from what I remember. So let me just adjust some settings here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, so this square here will actually serve as part of the background. But what we're going to do here is use the shape builder tool to make all of these into one object. So I'm going to select this, remove that, remove that, remove that. And then we're just going to click and drag to blend all of these together. We don't want to leave anyone out, so let me just zoom in and make sure I grab that piece. If I can't grab it, there's another solution to it. I'm not really sure actually what this is. I can't get my mouse to move over it, it seems. Alright, so we'll just figure this out. Oh, wait a minute. Small mistake. I might have the node editor a little too quickly, so let's do this again. Alright, I need to finish. Good, there we go. Let's say whatever random thing that was there is gone now, so no need to worry about it. Or maybe it's not. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, we can get rid of that easily. Just select those nodes and delete, and there we go. So we have the ground in place, and now I can decide where I want to put my bumblebees. So I actually want this, now I'm looking at it, I want this to be a little closer up because I want some perspective on this, so I'm going to zoom this in. Now, let me turn off snapping for a second. I just move this across like that. And I'm probably going to move this down as well, just to give me more room to work with. And by the way, I did open some pictures earlier of bumblebees just so I could get an idea of what they look like up close. I've seen them in many pictures, obviously, but it always pays to actually look at your subject matter a little closer. So let me just bring one of these across. Alright, so if you look at this, this is a lot more complex than something I would be able to draw easily, but there are some tricks when it comes to stuff like this. So what I'm going to do to break this down is basically I'm going to start with some basic shapes. So like we have the abdomen here, this could be a circle or an oval. Then we have another circle here for the torso or the thorax, and then of course we have the head, and then we could have another one for the eye, some lines for the antennae. And I'm gonna get a little technical here because I love insects, so I want to give this the respect it deserves, and that I'm going to give it ocelli, which are 3 eyes in the center of the head that don't really do much other than detect light and dark. At least that's as far as we know, because obviously we can't really get into an insect's brain to see what it's actually seeing. So what I'm going to do here actually is, instead of doing one from the side like this bumblebee we were just looking at, let me get to my overview. Right. Instead of doing one from the side like this first, I'm going to start with one from the front. Something more like this. But it still has the basics in place, which would be you just need like one circle for the head, another for the thorax behind that, and then one for the abdomen. But because we're doing a frontal view, I'm going to focus on the head first, and then the rest of the details can fall into place because they're not going to be as important. So let's start with this circle right here. Doesn't need to be that wide. Wait a minute. What's that? I thought there was a little hole in this thing here, apparently. And before I go any further, let me also click this ground so I don't have anything outside of my view. I'm very pedantic that way. I don't really like things to be outside the canvas unless it's absolutely necessary, which is different from most other designers I know. Most designers just drop stuff everywhere and very tidy that way, so you won't see me doing that. Okay, so let me go ahead and convert this to a path. And this node down here, I'm going to make this corner. Give us a nice little point right there. And I don't really need to do much more with this. Maybe just resize it from the sides like this. Right, because if you look at their heads, they're not that fat, really. Their eyes give them that bulging look, but the head is actually very small. So the eyes make up probably the majority of their head. It's kind of funny because then it means that their brain isn't very big either, but shockingly, just late last year, I read an article that described the study that shows bumblebees like to play. And the other amazing thing is most animals, even when it comes to play, it tends to relate to some kind of, some juhi, like eating or something else. But it turns out bumblebees just play for the sake of it, which is a very high level of intelligence that was not expected in animals whatsoever. Well, I shouldn't say animals, but in insects, really. Especially insects that, because they're social, yes, they do need high intelligence, but they kind of like blend their intelligence together, so it's like they don't really need to be carrying the intelligence necessary to play. So yeah, that one was a shocker, but yeah, it does turn out that bumblebees like to play. And what they did in this experiment, they covered some balls with honey and others without. And the bumblebees, of course, they were interested first because of the honey, but they played with them even when there was no honey, just because of the simple fact that it was fun. So they would get on these balls and roll around and tumble themselves all over the place, even when there was no actual benefit, whether it was from food or anything else. And they would even prefer to do this at times, which is not just a sign of intelligence, but it's fascinating because there basically is no purpose, no greater purpose behind it than the fun in it, and they're wasting time that could be spent on gathering food, wasting energy that could be spent other places. So yeah, very fascinating stuff. Let me make this stroke bigger. By the way, I'm not saying that this is like definitively proven, but I've observed it in other animals of various kinds. So like, I really love chickens. If you get to know me, you know that I absolutely adore them. They're very intelligent, very fun animals to watch and everything. But I've noticed that they tend to seem to play with things, even though a lot of people say birds don't really play very much, other than maybe like crows and a few other birds that are considered to be highly intelligent. It's usually thought that they don't play, but I've observed chickens playing and sometimes investigating things for no real purpose. So you would think that their purpose behind investigating things is always with the intent of finding food, but it turns out that, at least from my observation, sometimes they just investigate things because they can. So like they'll peck at something just because it's there and it looks interesting, and there's no actual like food involved. They're just doing it because, hey, this is fun. And I find that fascinating too, because whether you believe animals are created or you believe they evolve, whatever you believe in, it kind of doesn't really make sense as to why they would do something that doesn't have a purpose, because they're not like us humans who, are capable of just like, well, I mean, they are capable of seeking pleasure too, but my point is there's usually a higher purpose to anything animals are doing. So when animals are seeking pleasure without any real purpose, it does make you think, like, how much do they really know that we don't realize they do know? Or how much are they thinking beyond the level that we assume they know? Alright, I want to take a look at this picture again, because trying to do this from memory is a little tricky. Okay, so their eyes are shaped in a very interesting way. It looks more like they're like placed to the sides, but also the front of their head to give them forward-looking vision, but still to have peripheral vision. So to replicate this in 2D is a lot more tricky than I thought. Let me see if I can get a full frontal view of a bumblebee and see what that looks like. Alright, so I'm gonna need bumblebee front view. Yeah, this is amazing. Here's a funny one. I don't think this is a bee. Let me take a closer look at this, because I'm almost certain this is a flame. Yeah, that's a flame. That's not a bumblebee. And I'll tell you how you can tell the difference. If you take a closer look at this, let me see if I can get this picture in like a full view so I can zoom in on it, and I can actually point out to you how you can tell the difference. So the legs are not going to really give you much to go with, but just a tip, these really sharp claws you see here, yes, some herbivorous animals do, some herbivorous insects do have them for gripping onto bark and stuff, but these should give you an indicator of what kind of animal we're dealing with here before I get into the real details that will tell you this is not a bumblebee. Those are some serious claws. And if you look at this other foot here, there are actually 2 of them on each, it seems, so they're not just for holding on to trees, I'll tell you that. But how you can tell that this is not a bumblebee, if you look here, these antennae are like coming from almost a single stalk, but they're not really a single stalk, they're just like joined together at the base. That is a very distinct feature of true flies. So many true flies tend to have these 2 antennae right next to each other and like almost join into one thing. Then if you notice, the eyes are more bulbous than a real bumblebee. There's a whole lot of real estate going on right here in the center. And then this tongue, if you want to call it that, but it's a proboscis, whole lot of mouth parts joined together, looks extremely sharp, because this creature right here is a rubber fly. So not a bumblebee, just looks like one for the purpose of pretending to be dangerous. But here's the amazing thing. Normally when animals do this, when they mimic other animals like this in order to like pretend to be dangerous, they're not dangerous. But it just so happens that rubber flies are as dangerous as they look. Because if a rubber fly bites you, good luck. And then the final thing that tells you this is not a bumblebee, only 2 wings instead of 4. So yeah, this is not what we're looking for, but close enough. Alright, so I think this is probably the best front view right here that we're gonna get. And part of the reason is I think some of these may even turn out to be honeybees, which is quite likely to happen. Okay, this is a good one. Oh, it's also pretty cute. This is, as I said, I figured this would happen. So this right here is a honeybee. This, I'm not sure which kind of bee this is, but that is not a bumblebee. It looks more like a mason bee or one of those. I'm not 100% sure. This is also a honeybee. And this is a honeybee. Amazing. This is one sign that AI and robots are not taking us out anytime soon. Because if they can't tell the difference between a honeybee and a bumblebee, then unfortunately, they can't win. Alright, so let me see if I can get a really close-up shot of this one. It's not a full frontal view, but at least it's a little closer. Oh, and you might not be able to really make it out because this is very low res, but there are 3 eyes right here. So we're gonna replicate that soon. Alright, so enough of my rambling details. Let me actually go ahead and design this thing. Alright, I think my eyes don't look too bad. Alright, so let me go ahead and drop these 3 eyes in here. It'd be so cool if we had 3 eyes. I used to, when I was a child, I used to do this character with 3 eyes, and then I decided to do one with like 6 or 7 eyes. Okay, just give me a second here, folks. My apologies for the interruption. Okay, so yeah, I was saying I used to do a character with 3 eyes and I did one with 6, and I thought that looked so cool. Now, as I'm grown and, you know, no longer consider that stuff to be cool, I really don't like people with more than 2 eyes. But it would be kind of cool if we had 3, because maybe you could put one like at the back of your head or, you know, somewhere else. It would be pretty cool to be able to see what's going on in like multiple dimensions. Only problem is though, if you only had a single eye somewhere, you would lose 3D, or we should call it stereoscopic vision, so you wouldn't be able to judge distance. So like if somebody's coming up behind you, you might have the small problem of not really being able to tell how close they are. Not very useful. Right, so let me make this darker brown. Something close to black, really. Still want those eyes to be visible. So we're gonna have to cheat, I guess, and make this like later than it should be, because otherwise we won't see a thing. Alright, let me get oops, that is huge. What was that? Let me make sure that I did. Okay, I see what happened. Stroke was probably on and probably turned up pretty high, so I didn't need that. Anyway, so I'm gonna draw the antennae. And let me simplify this. Oops, a little too simple. And I don't think Inkscape like that, because no, it's loading something. Once it doesn't crash on me. I mean, if it does, I can recover this because I have autosave turned on, but I really hope it doesn't crash because of me trying to do that. Alright, let's recover this. Oh wait, it worked. It worked! Or maybe not. I think it... Okay, yeah, it didn't quite work. Let me try that. I'll just delete these instead of simplifying. Oh, I see what happened. This is, I forgot that since, I think, like, version 1.3, it adds the, path effect, what do you call it? I forgot what that path effect is called. Oh yeah, power stroke. It has the power stroke path effect by default, so I need to keep that in mind. Very useful though. So we're gonna drop that right there. And let's duplicate and drag. Okay, let's turn off snapping for now. Oops. There we go. And I'm gonna give it a body. Now, for those who are looking to try to replicate stuff like this, let me show you a very cool Inkscape feature. Typically, if you want to draw something fuzzy, it would require you to actually draw the fuzz yourself. But with path effects, you can do that automatically. So let me see, which one is it? Roughen, I think? Yeah, roughen. So turn this on. And you can already see the edges are kind of rough there. So I'm going to increase segment size. Okay, that actually did the opposite of what I want. Don't want it too big, don't want it too small. Randomize a little more. Displace a little more. Displace this direction as well. Let's bring these down just a bit. Alright, so that gives us a nice fluffy body with very little work. Look at that. Okay, I can drop this behind. Move it up by one. And now our Bumblebee has a body. So what about color, of course, because, you know, Bumblebees come in a whole bunch of colors. Let me just take a look again and see what would work best here. So okay, I now realize something. I can have a yellow face in between here because of all this yellow here, and then a yellow body of a slightly different shade, some lighter yellow down here. Yeah, this is a lot easier than I was thinking in my head. So this is why it's good to have references, because they can save you a lot of time and effort. So we'll go with a kind of bright yellow right there. And I will give it a stroke of a darker yellow. And I'm going to duplicate and turn off the fill, and then blur with this. There we go. And then let me just move this down. There we go. Right, move up by one. Two really. There we go. Good. And then I can duplicate again. Bring this in. Whoops. I didn't actually duplicate the name. Okay, let's bring that in. Forgot to lock these axes. It's still not actually respecting that they're locked, is it? Okay, yeah, it's not. So that's all control these things. And move this up to here. This looks really funny, but I mean, I can leave it like this because it will look like she's wearing a hat, and I actually love that. But I'm not going to leave our Bumblebee with a hat. I just want to give her slightly darker shade in her fuzz or fur or whatever you want to call it. Is it right to say insects have fur? I have no idea. Alright, there we go. Let's bring down the opacity on this just a bit. Here he's good. I'm going to duplicate this again. Resize again. Drag it into position. And move it down a number of times. There we go. Let's just turn the blur up on this one a bit. And the same on this one. Alright, there we go. So that gives us a nice little shade on her body. And let's make her face actually look yellowish, kind of. Or yellow, really, because it is yellow. We can make it a lighter yellow right there. And now I'm going to give her some shading. Turn off the stroke for that one. Blur it. Actually, this could be... I'm gonna make it later instead of darker. I think that would look better. Now let's give her a body. Let me just take another peek over here and see what color her body should be. Fun fact, we don't actually have, well, we may have bumblebees here. I shouldn't say we don't have them, but I've never actually seen bumblebees here. If I remember correctly, they're more in the north of the world in general. But we do have a bee that looks a whole lot like a bumblebee, and so they just tend to call them bumblebees, but they're not. They're carpenter bees. They're probably like nearly twice the size of a bumblebee really would be. They're not as fuzzy, but they're thick. When I tell you thick, I mean extremely thick. Like, these bees could probably bench press me. Not literally, but they're very big. And the other amazing thing about them is, as big as they are, they're actually not dangerous, so they don't sting you unless you really, 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 really ask for it. Like, I mean, you will have to grab one and manhandle it for a while, and then eventually she'll be like, alright buddy, I think you need to learn a lesson. And I've heard the sting really hurts, but never being stung by one, so can't tell. And I'm also not trying to find out. I mean, being stung by a bee is not exactly on my bucket list. And I have been stung twice by honeybees. Wouldn't recommend. Also, it's worth knowing that when I was stung by honeybees, I wasn't doing anything. It wasn't like I was asking for it, or you know, I went troubling them or something. Once I was looking at, I think it was an almond tree, stuck my hand in it, and the bee apparently was not too happy I did that, and she gave me a dead lash on my thumb. And then another time there was a bee in my house, and I put my hand in the window, not realizing that the bee was actually behind it, and she decided to teach me a lesson in randomness. So that hurt, right in my muscle, really, really hurt. So anytime I hear people say, oh, it's just like a bee sting, I'm like, oh, I'm good. Whenever they try to like downplay it and say, oh, bee sting isn't anything, man, don't worry about it, I beg to differ. Alright, there we go. So we have a front-facing bumblebee with no legs and no wings, but still looking very cute. I actually like this. Oops, I forgot that is not a node. That was not what I meant to do. Alright, this is what I meant to do. I want her antenna to be visible, so I'm just gonna move where it actually is and make it point this way. Now, for the sake of simplicity and time, I'm not going to actually give her jaws because that would be a bit too much work, but I am going to give her legs. And I did want this to be a little more realistic because that's my style. But I'm going to go with a cartoony look, like how we started. I think it's coming out pretty nice and still pretty fun, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm cheating here because her legs are also duplicates of her antennae. Which is kind of funny because in reality that is kind of what they are. Well, I mean, antennae are duplicates of legs in a sense. So it's almost as though they have more than 6 legs, but technically not, because their legs are not really the same kind of sensory organ, but in terms of their makeup, they're kind of the same thing. So imagine if we had an extra pair of legs on our head, but that extra pair of legs also allowed us to smell things. It's basically what they have. The other funny thing is many insects, I'm not sure about bees, but many insects can also taste with their feet. Which, since I was a child and I found that out, I've always tried to figure out what that's like. Not that I'm asking for, you know, the reason of actually trying to experience it. I'd rather not. But I do wonder what that is like to land on things and taste them. Can't be very fun. Which probably also explains why flies like to land on our food. It's not that they're trying to be rude, it's just that they're like, hey look, I have to live my, like, however many weeks of life tasting things that taste terrible. I'd rather just, you know, taste sugar and, you know, other stuff like that. Doesn't explain why they like to land on other things, which I will not describe, but I'm not a fly, so I really don't know what those other things taste like to me. This actually looks pretty cool and pretty cute, and I am going to be honest here, I'm slightly impressed with myself as to how this came together and how quickly it came together, because I was thinking it would take a little more detail than this. Another fun fact about bumblebees, by the way, that I really love is their efficiency, which is that whereas honeybees produce more honey than they actually need, bumblebees don't do that. So bumblebees, that's one of the reasons why they're not commercialized. I mean, there are people I've heard about, I think in maybe England, that actually do raise bumblebees for their honey because it says very different. Although I've heard it's more earthy or something along those lines. Not very appealing to my senses, but I don't know. Some people like other things, but yeah, the point is they don't really produce as much honey because they just produce what they need, and that's it. Honeybees, on the other hand, produce as much as they can get. So even when they don't need it, they'll just keep producing. But it's also a pretty good strategy because it means that bumblebees, in a sense, have to do less labor, and they also are, in another sense, less likely to be raided, because what's the use of raiding an animal that doesn't really keep a lot of food around? So their efficiency, in a sense, and this is just my guess, but their efficiency, in a sense, could be saving their lives. Alright, so with the wings now, how am I gonna do this? I'm trying to think of color. I like my realism, of course, but it's kind of hard to see their kind of wings in the style that we're doing, so we're probably gonna have to improvise here a bit. Oops, I'm gonna need to color that. Recreate rectangle and try this over here. And then I'm going to do the object to path, and let's make a way out of this thing. Oops, that's not what I meant to put. Right, there we go. And I'm going to change the color on this so it is translucent and give it a stroke. Move this color up to closer to white. Or better yet, since it's usually dark, let's make it closer to the real color, but still keep it visible. Alright, and since bees have 4 wings, I'm going to duplicate this one, move it down here, resize just a little bit, and then just move it there, and move it underneath. Okay, not that far underneath, obviously. There we go. Let me give this some feelings. So to do that, I'm gonna just draw that. I just realized something. I did grab my graphics tablet, and this whole time I've been using my mouse, which tells me that I have not been using my graphics tablet for way too long, which means I need to be doing more of this, obviously. The kind of designs I've been doing recently are more, of course, the more exact designs rather than like illustrations and drawings and that kind of stuff. So it would be nice to get back into practicing with the graphics tablet and, you know, keep that skill alive. But obviously, I've never lost my touch. By the way, I apologize if anyone was on chat because I completely forgot to keep an eye on that. But yeah, I don't see any messages, so we're good. But I had completely forgotten to keep an eye on the chat today. Been a while since I've been streaming, so that would happen, obviously. Oh, that's enough for bins. Let's just duplicate this. Oops. Oh. Would have been so much easier to select these if I had actually named them while I was doing this. Here we go. So let's group these together. Duplicate. and we can move them around. So we move this down here, say, oops, okay. Alright, I'm not going to get too fancy with her wings. I think they're good as they are, so I'm going to go ahead, group them all together, move them below part of her body, and duplicate again, or did I already duplicate? Wait a minute. Let me just see something. Okay, cool, we did it. Right now. So we can flip this around. Rotate it slightly. And we can resize this. I could use the perspective transformation path effect for this, but the problem with that, if I remember correctly, is it doesn't really work with groups as well as it should. So unfortunately, I can't use that path effect to get these wings into position as it should. There we go. Okay, so our first bumblebee is done, and I will group her into one thing and rename it. We'll call her Shield. For no reason. They're just gonna give her a name for no reason. Wait a minute, I'm gonna need to select that. Why? Thank you. Oops, her legs just disappeared. What happened there? Okay, good. Okay, one of her legs keeps disappearing whenever I resize it, and I can't figure out why. Make sure I group. That didn't do it. I can't be bothered. I don't know what's happening there, but for some reason one of her legs is camera shake. Oh, no, they're all camera shake. That is one of the weirdest bugs I have ever seen. Pun not intended. Pun not intended. I walked right into that one. But yeah, pun not intended, it is one of the weirdest bugs I've ever seen. But because we are using SPG, there is a trick that I can use that I'm about to show you. So, seeing as I can't resize the B, I can resize the C. And to do that, I'm going to multiply the size of our canvas by 2, making sure that the width and height are locked. And watch this. I can then take this right here, resize, okay, I need to hold control, resize this over there, and make sure snapping is turned on. Drag this down here, and then just put the B where I want it to be. And I can avoid whatever that bug was that's causing her to display it incorrectly whenever I resize. So the next thing I'm going to do here is put a hole underneath her so it looks like she's coming above the ground. Let me just make sure it's completely okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. duplicate this. Here. That. That. Take. And let us Control plus. Right, here we go. Strong ball. Make everybody auto smooth. Oops. Right, so now it looks like Sheila, our Bumblebee, is coming out of the ground. We can just delete these externals over here. We don't need them. Alright, so let's give Sheila some sisters, and this won't take long to do. Because I was giving her the most details since she's kind of like our focal point. So in order to do that, I will just go ahead and create some very simplified bumblebees. And that will just take some circles, some adjustment with this. Right, so let's make this yellow. Make this one yellow. Let's duplicate this one. Make this one yellow. And then I'm going to duplicate this. Duplicate them. And now I'm going to use the shape builder tool to give her strings. So in order to do that, I'll delete this, delete this, delete this, and delete this. And then I'm going to delete these two and just keep this one. That will stay as black, and this will become yellow. So that's our first stripe, and then we can duplicate that process behind here. Let's go ahead and duplicate this, move to the back. Do I have the right thing to it? Oh, my bad. Shit, then we'll go to it again. Delete that. Oh, but we switched the colors here. So this could be black, this could be yellow, this could be black, oops, yellow, and this could be red. Something along those lines. And then of course we will go ahead and add pop effect to this. Oh, I have to do it one by one? Alright, no problem. Add reference to this, add it to this, to this, and add it to this. Is this and add the reference to this. I'm going to make this a different level. Here we go. So far. Let's blur. We'll try something here. Okay. Wait. It's not different, sorry. Multiplayer obviously is going to be way too dark, so we're going to just make this a little bit transparent. There we go. Not bad. Right, so let's give her some ice, and she's almost done. Object to path. That was really funny. Alright. Duplicate this one. I wonder if I can get these to overlap in some sort. Yeah, I can't actually. Nice. Together. Alright, I'll delete this one. So I was going to bring it a complete disaster. And undo. Come on, undo. And is it frozen? Oh wow. Inkscape didn't like what I did there, it's not obvious.
Four computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Let me delete this. There we go. Okay, so Sheila has a sister at last, with no wings. But that's no problem. We can steal some of her wings, or more like clone them, I should say. Or clone two of them, I should say. Yeah. Let me jump into here. Right. Select this wing. So I didn't need to go. I now remember I can just select. Right, select this group. Okay. And move this out of this group altogether. If it will move, of course. There we go.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That looks so cute. Stick with this one, and move it over. And let me say it's just a bit. Maybe a different yellow, and move it here. Okay, not that far behind, obviously. Okay, what do I need to do? What's that? Ah, I know what I need to do. Figure it out. Duplicate this, select this, use the trusty shape builder tool to get rid of the excess. There we go. And we can just move this, move this over here. Anyway, something along those lines. Doesn't look too bad. And you can't tell when you zoom out. So that's again for our legs. She's butt. Can tell she works out. There. Nice. Alright, now I'm going to cheat and actually group these and duplicate again so that we get multiple sisters without having to do all that work. I like that. That looks pretty nice. So let's make this grown a little more interesting, and let me see. I'm gonna give us another 15 minutes before we call this show a day or whatever you want to call it. So we'll see if I can speed design a panda. And I do have experience from working on Fedora badges, which do have pandas, so we'll see how quickly it moves. Can't wait until Inkscape gets support for a graphics card accelerated canvas, like power accelerated canvas. It's going to be pretty epic because you won't get as much of this lag as you get sometimes when you're doing complex scenes. There we go. I think I'm kind of satisfied with how the drone is looking. So let's give this a backdrop. And then I'm going to drop a panda in there. And I have 12 minutes to do that. Let's get our panda over here. And I don't want that. Do I? Actually, let me leave that. I just use a circle to do my body, but I'll start with a rectangle this thing. And don't worry, our panda will not be green. It just is the default color because that's what it was using before. So you have one part of the body in place. Let's get the lower part over here. Alright, let's smooth all this stuff out so that we can go ahead and start shaping this body into a panda. This is where it sits right here. This is going to form part of the leg of that say. This part over here is not that important, we just need some distance away from the body. That's the main thing. Because it's going to be covered in part by the mound of dirt in front of it. Move this down. Okay, there we go, that's part of the body right there. We can resize this as well, so we have more room to work with. Let me add a head. Okay. Squat. Alright, it's about 8 minutes to finish my panda. Can I do it? This top. Second. Brilliant. I just need to see how that would look really quick. Set clip and move this to the bottom. Let me just get a quick peek here at the panda's face because I am misremembering some color placement of where the eyes are. Alright, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Just give me a signal. Let me get a panda image. Let me see if I get these eyes right. Okay. I was saying something because for some reason my brain was telling me there's a big stretch of black across the face, and then I remembered that's not true. So I can delete these. This will make it a lot easier. I don't know why my brain did that. I was thinking raccoon instead of panda for a moment there. So if you were feeling confused, it's not just you, it's me. need to turn off snapping again. I have a feeling I'm not going to get this as detailed as I want in the next 5 minutes, but I'm still going to try to get it done. Alright, so let me get this up here for right there. This one over here. Let me draw a mouth of some sort. Oops. Let me turn off the film, I guess, because it doesn't need a film. Add a circle over here to give it some kind of a like toe pattern or something, if you want to call it that. A 5-minute panda is not the best panda, but it's still a panda, so we respect it. Also take a peek at their body colors just to make sure I get it straight. Okay, so black legs and white body. Pretty simple. Okay. And let me draw something basically. Oops. This should be right. And this should be right. There we go. Oops, what I meant to do. I've got a minute left. I can't get the arms done. Oops, I keep forgetting when I go into Shape Builder tool to actually finish before I exit. Okay, so I'm officially at the hour and a half mark, so I'm technically out of time. but I'm still going to finish our panda's arms just to be fair to him. It wouldn't be fair to have a panda with no arms. So to do that, I'm going to draw some rectangles. Basically, object to path. Basically, just move things into position. Forgive me, Panda, I couldn't get you to my higher standard of quality, but I tried. Of course, he's obviously not too pleased if you look at his book. So I guess fair is fair. He still managed to get the correct expressions for a panda who was finished in like 5 minutes. Let's give him a stick of bamboo. That would be some kind of greenish color. I'm gonna duplicate this and drop it over here. Rotate. Yeah, his arm is gonna have to be a mess. I'm sorry. It is not looking the best on this side, but I still want to respect my time limits. So yeah, that arm is not the best of arms, but it's an arm. So at least he still has an arm. And of course, I could make this backdrop more interesting, but maybe in a future stream we could come back to this if we want to, and you know, like beef this up a bit. But there you have it. I still managed within an hour and a half, or maybe a little less than that, depending on when I actually started drawing, to get 4 bumblebees and a panda. I'm proud of myself because I have not been streaming in a while, and I also managed to stop myself from getting overly detailed, because that is me. I am very much into details and realism and stuff like that. So I went for a more cartoonish style this time, and I managed not to overkill. And I think it came out pretty nice. Of course, we should finish this off by giving our panda actual eyes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and drop 2 eyes in here. There we go. Yeah, so that has been the Inkscape challenge for January. I'm not sure what it will be next month, but you can look out for that next month. It's a leap year, so possibly, maybe I'll do it on the is it 29th? Yeah, 29th of February. That depends on what the date is, though, of course. Let me just see. That will be a Thursday. So maybe the Wednesday or the Tuesday, 28th, 27th, we'll see. But just keep an eye out for that. I'll keep you posted on my YouTube channel and my other socials as to when I actually will be having that next stream. And you can also look out for some new videos to drop in the relatively near future, and of course be on the lookout for my Creative Freedom Summit talk. So make sure you catch the whole thing if you can. So really great talks were there. Everybody really brought their A game, so there's some really good content there. But yeah, other than that, you can follow me if you haven't on my socials. All of my information is on my website. The link is in the description. And make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because the notification bell did steal your money, so you do need to hit it to make sure it never does it again. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff. Check out my socials on my website, and I will see you all next month. Alright, so until next time, I am Roland Taylor, aka Roland Vitsar. See you next time.